A very good evening and good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Before starting the session, we would like to say big sorry to all the participants. Due to some technical issue, we couldn't start the today's session. And also, thanks to all the participants who understand our situations and joined today for session. Our today's session, as you know, that it's a data visualization and modeling using Orange software. Orange is an open source software which is mainly used for research purpose and visualization purpose. Our today's resource person, Dr. Shanti Verma, madam. She is an associate professor at LJ School of Computer Applications, LG University, Ahmedabad. She has much experience in data visualization tools like Orange, R programming, Python, and other such related softwares. And also a very active person in the area of academic and research in terms of participating in different workshops, conferences, and she has been a part of different journals as well, as a reviewer, as an editorial board member, and much more. With great pleasure, I would like to welcome Dr. Shanti Verma ma'am and all the participants for this session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And over to Shanti ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all the participants. Again, sorry, due to some technical problem, my voice is not audible to you yesterday. That's why we are not able to conduct the session yesterday. So sorry. And but today we come here to learn something about the new software that is called the Orange software, which is mainly used for the data warehousing and data mining, and mostly researchers are use this software also for the research purpose also. Okay, so let me first introduce to you about the Orange software, means how to install this software, and means how the environment of the Orange software looks like, and what are the different things that we can do in that softwares. Okay, so let first I share my screen to you. Yes, my screen is visible.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so to download the Orange software, first of all, let's understand means how this Orange software is built, and what are the programming language used to develop this software. So I just want to tell you that this Orange is totally built on the Python language, and this is mainly used by the management researchers because they don't have the coding knowledge, and if they want to customize their code, or if they want to customize their research problems to develop some softwares, then it might be a problem for management persons. So this is a software that is used by the person that don't have any programming language, but they can perform the data mining, prospects sampling, as well as the various classification algorithm, clustering algorithm, natural language processing. All things can be done without any coding knowledge. So this is the very great advantage of this software, that you don't require any programming knowledge for using this software. And you can also download, after doing work, you can also download the Python code from the Orange softwares, and if you want to customize that code, you can also customize. Okay, and it is also built with the Anaconda package of the Python. So if you you are downloading the Python package, that is an Anaconda, you can get this Orange software in that package also. But you can separately download this software also. So for downloading the software Orange, I just write download Orange. Okay. So Orange is a data mining, mostly used for the data mining. So you can see this icon. This is a basically icon used for the Orange software, and this is the official website orangedataMining.com. Okay, and this is a open source software that is used for the machine learning, data modeling, data visualization, and all that. Okay, so you can see that there is a option of the download Orange, and Orange also has the various version, and you can find this is the current version, latest version 3.37. So to download this, you can just click on this download Orange, and I am using the Windows operating system. So for Windows there are two options. You can download the exe file as well as you can download the zip file and extract. After extracting, you get the Orange icon and you can use that. But and you can also use the exe. So I just want to download the exe file. So I just click. You can see that this download is going on, and it takes near about the 6 minutes. Actually, this Orange software prerequisite is that your system must have the Python. But if there is in your system there is no Python, that it also provide the facility to download the Python at the time of installing the Orange. But in background, they are running the Python scripts only. Okay, so it is compulsory that in your system, there are some directories of the Python. The Python software is already installed. So it is required. Okay. So I just wait for to download this Orange software. You can also see this is right Miniconda. Okay, I already told you that there is a software, there is a package, Python package, that is a Orange means Anaconda, and it is a part of the Anaconda. So it is also called as the Miniconda. Okay, and you can use this software for the different operating system like Mac OS also. There are these are the files available that you can use to download the Orange in your Mac operating system. And you can see also this is the you can download with the Python also. And for that, if in your system there is an Anaconda, then in the Anaconda prompt, you can, if you write this command, then Orange software is installed. As well as if you know about how to install different types of libraries in the Python, so you know that there is a one command that is called as a pip. So if in your system there is a Python already installed, then with the help of the using pip, you can also install the Orange. For that, you have to write in the Python prompt that pip install Orange. Okay, so there are various ways to install this Orange, and this is open source software, so you don't require to pay anything for using this software. Okay, so this installation takes time. So I just show you that how the Python means Orange environment look like. This orange screen is visible to you. Hello,
Yeah, it's
this
visible
is
now.
visible?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is a environment. You can see this is a first interface you get when you open the Orange software. Okay, and the first file you get is a untitled Orange file. You can see some space here. Okay, so this is the space that you have to use to draw a visual representation of your work. Means you can also say that is a workflow. Okay, and you can also see different types of the widgets. Okay, so you can see this is a data widget, this is a transform widget, and you can also see there is a model. There are you can also see visualize. So there are lots of types of the widgets available. We have to use that widgets to make sure that our work must have to be done. Okay, so we have to use these all. Actually, this is a open source Orange, but there is also a licensed version of the Orange already available. Uh, and in the licensed version of the Orange, you get a more facility as compared to the means open source. So mostly in the industry, when the means industry persons are using this Orange, they are using the licensed versions to get the more functionality of the Orange software. Okay, so there are lots of the thing that we can do. You can see this evaluate. Now you can see this unsupervised learning. Okay, so supervised learning, unsupervised learning, model evaluation, different types of graphs you can see. This is a tree, SVM, logistic regression, naive Bayes, ADA boost. All these algorithms are available here. And to means do the things, you don't require any coding language knowledge. You have to just pick and drop the things, connect the things to get your work done. Okay, you can see there are lots of the plots like scatter plot, box plot, violin plot, there are bar plot, Venn diagram, heat map. All these are available to us, and with the help of our data set, we can perform all these tasks to make a model, and after that we can use the different things to evaluate the model, like we can do in any machine learning the machine learning applications. Okay, so I just waiting to download, so I show you the process how to install this Orange in your system. Okay, you can see some seconds required to download the fully exe file. takes some time to open. Okay, so I just go in the folder. One minute, I share. Okay, you can see this is downloaded. So I just double click. This orange screen is visible. Orange setup screen.
No, madam, currently we are using your browser, web browser.
Okay, 1 minute. Actually, there is a no option to select my whole window. Now this is visible.
Yes, license agreement.
Yeah. Yes. So I just double click on this orange exe file, and I have to just agree the agreement. Now there is an option to install for anyone using this software or to install just for me. So I choose for me only. Now you can see that there is an option that Anaconda Python distribution. Okay. So if in your system this Anaconda is not installed, you have to just tick on this and then press on the next. In my system, Anaconda is already installed. Then you can see that Anaconda Python distribution already installed. So I don't have to require to install the Anaconda again. So this is a prerequisite. So means you have to just tick and then press to the next. Okay, if there is no Anaconda in your system. Okay. Now it asked for the location, in which location you want to install. So in the program files I want to install, I just click next. In my system, Orange is already installed. So it tells that you want to override it or not. In your system, if the Orange is not installed, this pop-up is not comes, and the Orange installation begins. Okay. So I don't want to proceed again because in my system, this Orange is already installed. Okay, actually, there is a one question that can we work simultaneously? Yes, you can simultaneously work when your Orange is already installed. And there is also one questions that data set. Okay, so I am going to use the online data set. So when this installation is complete, then uh, I'm going to tell you that how from where you can install the data, you can download the data set. Okay. Uh, Actually, for Orange, it requires the latest version of the Anaconda. So, if you find that your Anaconda is not latest, then you can again download the Anaconda if you require that. Okay. Yes, you can also extract and use the Orange. I already told you. Okay. In 32-bit, actually, there is a no file, means exe file available for the 32-bit. For that, you can use the portable version, and you can download the zip file and use the Orange. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to share you that from where you can download the data sets. So, okay, so there is a one website that mostly people are used for downloading the real-time data sets. That is a kaggle.com. Okay, so this is a interface of kaggle.com. And if you want to download any data set, then the sign in required. And you can sign in with your Google Gmail ID also. So for example, if I want to download the same healthcare data set, okay. So you see that there are lots of the data set available for the healthcare. And for example, if I want to use the beginners data set for the healthcare, and so this is a competition, so we are not able to download the data set. Okay, for example, there is a one data set like breast cancer data set. Okay. You can see this is a CSV file, breastcancer.csv. I just want to download. So I click on download. You can see this login is required. So I sign in with my Google, Gmail. Okay. Now to download, I just click on the download. You can see this breastcancer.csv file is going to download, and it is downloaded. Okay, so I am using this website to download the data set. If you already have the data set, then you can also use any medium to take the data set to perform the analysis using the Orange. Okay. Now I just want to share the orange, means how we are going to work in orange. Okay, so I think all of you see this orange screen. Okay. Now, in any data mining or data visualization or data modeling process, the first process, you know, that is the loading of the data set. Then we have to find out that what is the distribution of the data set. Is the data set required any type of pre-processing? If data required any type of pre-processing, then we have to do the pre-processing. And after that, if it required, we have to do sampling also. And after sampling, we have to check which type of model you want to use, means supervised model or the unsupervised model. And on the basis of that, we have to build a model, evaluate the model, and interpret the model. So these are the steps that we have to perform when we have to do any task in the orange. Okay, so the first thing we have to understand is how to load the data set. Okay, so to load the data set, you can see here there is a data widget. Okay, you can see there is an option of file, there is an option of CSV file import, there is an option of data set, there is an option of SQL table. Okay, so these are the different ways from that we can get or take the data set from the user. Understand, everyone? Okay, I will share the link. 1 minute. I already share you the link in the chat box to download the data set. Okay. So first, in orange, I am going to use the CSV dataset. Okay, so I already installed, I already downloaded the dataset. Now I want to load that dataset in orange. Okay, so for that I required a first visit, that is a CSV file import. Okay, so what we have to do, there is a one option of click, and that widget is display in our workplace. Okay, the second option, you can also use a drag and drop. You can drag and drop. This is visible to all of you. Okay, you can double click, you can get that widget in a workspace, as well as you can just drag and drop the widget in your workspace. Okay, so our first task is to take the data set. Now you can see in this widget there are these dotted lines. Okay, so what this dotted lines represent? Actually, every widget has two things: input and output. So every widget takes input and gives output to the other widgets. Okay, but when we are using this data widget is only used to take data set. That data set is used by the other widget. So there is no input. This widget only gives the output. So if this dotted line is in the right hand side, it means it represents the output. If it is in the left hand side, it represents the input. Okay. Now you can see if I means put the mouse here, you can see means there is a no CSV file name is represented. Now you can see no input. Okay, there is no input. Now if I want to use my downloaded file here, I have to just double click. Okay, and I can browse. Which file I want to use? The file is in my downloaded area. So I just click on this breast cancer and open. Okay, now you can see this all data is available here. If you open this Excel file, you can find the same data. Understand, everyone? If any problem, you can ask in chat box. Okay, so this all data is presented here. Now this data is available to me. I just, and you can see here what is the size of the data set. You can see this 4024 instances means there are 4024 rows in the data set. 16 variables means there are 16 columns in the data set. Out of this 16 column, you can see that there is a 11 categorical column and 5 numerical column. Means 11 column have the categorical values, 5 columns has the numeric value, and you can also find out that there is no missing values. Okay, so it represents the data properties, means how many rows and columns in the data set, and there is no missing value, so we don't require any type of pre-processing. Understand? Okay. Okay, 1 minute. I am sharing the file. Okay. I hope everyone get this CSV file. Okay. Now you can see that this CSV file is important, but we are not able to see our data set. Now, to see the data set, we required another widget that is called data table. Okay. In the data table, you can see there are dotted lines in the left hand side as well as dotted line in the right hand side. Okay. It means that it takes input as well as it produces output. Okay. Now, these two are different. CSV file import and data table. There is a no connection between these two widgets. Now, if I want that my data that I imported with the CSV file widget is passed to the data table, it means that I have to make a connection between these two. Okay. So to make a connection between these two, I have to make a connection line. So this is a connection line. Okay, so what this connection line represent that CSV file imports output is a input for the data table. And you can see in the above the line, you can see this data. It means the data is transferred between these two widgets. Understand? Okay. Now, if I double click on this data table, you can see all data you are able to see. You can scroll and able to see the whole data. Understand? Okay. So I am using two widgets. One to import the data. Second, to visualize the data in the form of the table. To visualize the data in the form of the table, you can use this data table widget. Okay. And to import the CSV file, you can use this CSV file import. Now, these two are using the same data. So we have to make a connection between these two. Okay, CSV file import and data table. So CSV file import output is a input for the data table. Okay. Now, if I want to see the whole data set, I have to just double click on the data table. Now you are able to see this data set. I am just double click on the data set, data table. Understand, everyone? You can see here the information that 4024 instances are there, no missing value, 16 features, no target variable, no meta attributes, means there is a no linkage with any other sheets of the Excel files. Okay. Again, you are not able to see the data. Just you have to double click on the data table after making the connection. But please make sure that the file is imported successfully. If the file is imported successfully, then you are able to see the data. Okay. Okay. Now, the next thing we have to do is to find the summary of the data set. Okay. You have to, for making the connection, you have to just make a line between these two. For example, I just delete this connection. I just point my mouse in this output and just drag a line to the input of the data table, and it make a connection. Okay. Okay. Now, to find out the summary of the data set, mostly when we are doing any type of analysis, we have to first do the descriptive analysis. Okay. So what do you mean by descriptive analysis? That we have to find out that what is the mean, mode, median, standard deviation, range of the data set. Is there is any missing value in the data set? And every column follows which type of distribution. We have to do all this. So to do all this, there is a one widget that is called feature statics. Okay. So I just use this widget feature statics. Okay. Now we have to calculate the feature statics, means the summary of the data set. But if we are not making any connection between the data table and feature statics, we are not able to see that what is the output we are getting. Okay. So to do this now, I have to make a connection between the data table and feature statics. Okay. You can see this is a selected data, means all data summary is transferred to the feature statics. Okay. Now, to see the summary of the data set, I just double click on the feature statics. Now you are able to see the feature statics of the whole data set. Means the mean, mode, median, dispersion, minimum, maximum, missing. This is called the descriptive statics of the data set. And this you get for all the columns of the data. If the column has the numeric value, you can get the mean, mode, median, dispersion. That is possible. But if the column has the categorical values, you are not able to get the mean, mode, median, because that is not possible to calculate. For example, if the column in the column race, you can see there is no mean. In the marital status, you can not see the mean value, because these are the categorical ones. You can also see the distribution. The distribution is a normal distribution, skewed distribution. So what type of distribution of the column is? You can also find out all this. Understand? Feature statics is nothing, just to provide the descriptive statics of your data set. The values you get from the feature statics is a mean, mode, median, dispersion, minimum value, maximum value, and percentage of missing value. So if you find any missing data in this feature statics, then it is compulsory that you have to first do the pre-processing before doing anything else. Okay. And in the distribution, you can find out that how or which type of distribution the data follows, and it is helpful to get that the data is normally distributed or not. Because for any type of analysis, it is required that the data set must follow the normal distribution. Understood, everyone? Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to perform any type of visualization, okay. So to perform any type of visualization, you can see that there is a lots of type of the plots are in the available in the widgets. Okay. So first of all, I want to tell you that how to do the sampling, and after that to draw any type of the diagrams. Okay. So you can see in the data table, there are, I think, 4072 something rows are there. Okay. So if I want to do the sampling, then there is a one widget that is called data sample. What I am doing, I am just right click on this workspace. Okay. Now you can see there is a data sampler. Okay. So I just use this data sampler. Okay. This data sampler is used to perform the sampling. I don't want to use the whole data set to draw to visualize the results. That's why I want to use this data sampler. Okay. Now, what I have to perform is a data sampling. But if I don't connect this data sample with any of the widget, there is no data. Okay. So for that, I want that this data table output is input for the data sampler. Understand? What I want to make a connection that perform the data sampling of the whole data. Whole data is available in the data table. To perform the sampling, I want to use this data sampler widget. So I have to make a connection between this data table and data sample. Okay. Now, I am just doing the double click on this data sampler. You are able to see this data sampler orange. For using this data sampler widget, you have to just right click. Just right click. I am doing again. Just right click and just type here data sampler, and you can also see this data sampler here. Okay. Now, I want to do sampling. Then how much percent sampling I want to do, which type of sampling I want to do, that we have to fix. Okay. So you can see by default, it is doing a random sampling type by the fixed proportion of data, that is 70% and 30% by default. Okay. If you want to change, you can just drag this. Okay. And you can see if my proportion is a 62%, then it extract 2,817 rows from the 4024 rows. Understand? If I change the proportion to the, for example, 86%, you can see it can extract the 2,817 rows from the 4024 rows. Okay. So you can fix a proportion according to your need. How much data sampling means samples you need to perform the analysis. Okay. Yes, what do you mean by same value? Every time you get a different result, because the sampling, it is doing the sampling, that is a random sampling. Yes. Actually, this is a fixed proportion of the 70%. When you click on the sample data, then it is going to change. Just click on the sample data. You can get changes in the number of rows. Are you getting? Okay. Now, if your data size is very small and you, one second. Hello. Yes. So I am talking about that if your sample size is small. So everyone understand how many types of the random sampling are there? So I just want to tell you that there are two types of the random sampling. One is called the random sampling without replacement, and second is called the random sampling with replacement. Okay, so you can see here there is a one option of sample with replacement. Okay, so if you want that, you want to use the same sample again, means 2 times 3 times in the data set, then you can use this option sample with replacement. For example, if you are doing any analysis where your sample size is very less. For example, if you are doing a analysis for checking that the person has hepatitis disease or not, and you are asking to a person that you have a hepatitis or not, then you know that due to some very social obligations, mostly people are telling that there is a no means hepatitis disease to me. So it in that case, the yes, chances of yes is very less as compared to no. So basically, if you want to increase the sample size, in that case, you can perform the sample with the replacement. So this is another type of the sampling that you can do. Okay. Now there is also a cross validation. So basically, a cross validation is also a type of the sampling where you have to just click on the sample data. I am just going trying to first explain the things and then perform the sampling. Okay, so there is a cross validation also. In the cross validation, you have to make the subset of the data set, and to pick the random data set, it takes data from every subset. Okay, and for that you require to use the cross validation. Okay, so it is up to you that how you want to do a sampling. By default, it is doing the random sampling with the fixed proportion. Okay, so for example, here my proportion is 82%, and I want to sample, so I have to just click on the sample data. You can see that there are 3,381 rows are extracted from the 4024 rows. That is the 84% of the 4024. Okay. Now, if you want to see only these extracted rows of the data set, I have to just again use this data table, and I have to connect this data sampler to the data table. Now, if I double click on the data table, you can see the size of the data is 3,381. It's not 4,024, because this is only the sampled data. And it might be possible the rows or the data set of yours and mine are different, because it is a random sample. Understand? Okay. Okay. Everyone understand? Okay. Now, if I want to do any visualization on the basis of this with the help of the sampled data, then you can also do. Okay. For example, if I want to draw a line chart, for example. Okay. So I just use this line plot. Okay. Now I have to connect this sampled data into a line plot. I just double click. You can see this line chart is drawn. You are able to see? Okay. If you don't want to plot a line chart with all these variables, you can remove from here. You can select. If you want to select, you can select. It also gives you the values. What are the different values with different colors? Understand? If you want to show lines, then there is an option. You can show lines. If you want to show also errors, you can show the errors also. There is a group by between all these columns. If you want to delete any column, then for example, if you want to filter by anything, for example, race, then you can filter also. Understand, everyone? And this is for the sample data. Now, if you want to save this file, this graph, For that, you have to go in this option. I think everybody is visible. Go to the file and then save image. Okay, and you can choose any location to save your file. The by default type of the file is a PNG. Okay. Understand everyone? You can see this is a one option. Hello. You can see this. Just go to file and then save image. Okay, there is also a shortcut keys of Ctrl+S that you can use to save this PNG file in your system. Okay. Hello. Everyone done? Okay. Now, similarly, if you want to draw any other chart also, then you can do. So, for example, if you want to make a box plot, for example, okay. So, what you have to do, you have to always connect the any plot with the data. Okay, so you cannot connect this line plot with the box plot. For every plot, it requires a data. So you have to connect data with the box plot. Now, if I just double click, then you can see the box plot is drawn. Okay. Now, if you change the column, then it change also. But you know that the box plot is only be drawn for the numerical data set. So for this, it is the age, and you can see this is the Q1, this is the Q2, Q3, this is the Q2. Okay. So you can plot any type of graph with the help of this software. Okay. Understand everyone? If any doubt, then you can tell to me, because the problem with the mostly peoples are facing that how to connect these all widgets, because it is easy, very easy. But when we are going to connect, and if there is any wrong connection, then your whole analysis is going to wrong. Okay. Okay. Now there is also one widget, that is data select columns. Okay. So what this select column is doing, as you see in the starting of when we are loading the data, how many columns in the data set? There are 16 columns. Okay. Out of that, we found that there are 11 columns that are categorical and 5 columns are numerical. Okay. Now, if I want that, I don't want to use all the columns for the further analysis, and I want to extract or drop some columns from the data, then how we can do? For that, we have to use this select columns. So select column provides us the facility to select columns from the data set according to our need. Okay. Actually, box plot is mostly used as a plot to show the symmetry in the data set, means what is the how the data is distributed. Okay, so actually the box plot is also called as a 5-number summary plot that represents the 5 value, that is a Q1, Q2, Q3, and minimum value and maximum value. These are the 5 values that we can draw with the help of the box plot. And it is also used to find out the different types of the outliers in the data set. Okay. So there are lots of the uses, and mostly it is a part of the descriptive analysis. In the descriptive analysis, mostly people are drawing this box plot to check is there any outlier in the data set or not. Okay. Okay, so we are going to use this select columns. Now you have to connect this select column with our original data set. So I just make a connection between this data table and select columns. Okay. Now I just double click on the select columns. You can see this type of the window is pop up. Now you can see in features, there are 16 features. Means all columns are here. Okay. Now, for example, if I don't want to use this grade, now what I can do, I have to just drop here. These are called ignored, that we are not going to use for in further analysis. Now you can see the number of columns are now 15, not 16. Okay. Now, for example, if I also don't want to use this at a stage, so I have to just drop here. Understand? The columns you don't want to use, you have to put that columns in the ignored section. Okay. For example, I also use this. Now, in my data set, there are only 12 columns that I am going to use further. Understand? For using this select column, you have to just right click. You have to just right click and search select column. Okay. Okay. Now, I ignored 4 columns, but I have to see that these 4 columns are actually ignored or not. For that, I have to use this data table again. Okay. And I have to connect this select column with the data table. Now, if I double click on the select column, you can see that there are only 12 columns. You can see here 4024 rows, but only 12 columns. These columns are not, that columns I already ignored, are not in the data set. Actually, these are the distribution. Every column that has the numerical values, it shows also the distribution because there is a click here. If I just drop this click, you can't see any type of visualization. If you don't want to use any type of the color for the instances, then you have to just ignore this. You can see the changes in the data set. Okay. What I have to repeat? The columns you want to ignore, you have to just put that columns in the ignore section. Do you able to see? This is the select column. The columns I don't want to use further, I have to just take this column and just drop here. Understand? And these are the ignore column, means these columns are not used in further analysis. And these are the columns that we are going to use further. Okay? Understand? Okay. Now, if you want to see that the columns are actually ignored or not, you have to connect this select column with other data table widget. Now, if I double click, you can see that there are only 11 features because I ignored the 5 columns. Understand? So in this way, you can do sampling of columns also. Previously in the data sampler, we are doing sampling of rows. But if you want to sample the columns also, you can use this select columns. Understand? It is showing red and green color because there is an option that visualize numeric value and color by instance class. Please check in the data table. Just double click on the data table. You can see. I already shared the data set. I hope you get the data set that is available in the chat box. Understand, everyone? Okay. So we done. We load the data set, see the data set, do the descriptive analysis, perform the sampling by rows, and also perform the sampling by column, and also do some basic visualization. Okay. Yes, I just want to give you one data set that having the missing value. Then I want to tell you that how to analyze the data set having the missing value. Okay. One second. Okay. Now, I just don't want to use any CSV file. I want to use the data set that is already available in Orange. Okay. So to use the data set that is already available in Orange, I just want to use a new Orange workspace. Okay. Now there is a one widget that is a data set. Okay. So when I use this data set, it is first initializing and loading all the data set available in Orange. Now, if I double click, you can see that heart disease, BBC3, breast cancer, smoking effect, adult census income. There are lots of the data set that is already available in the Orange. Okay. And what is the size of the data set? How many variables are there? Target columns are, means dependent column is available or not. All this information is available here. Okay. So if you want to use any inbuilt data set, then you have to use this data set widget. Okay. Now, for example, I want to use this Titanic data set. Okay. So I have to just click. Now I want to see the Titanic data set. So I have to just make a connection between the data set and data table. Now, if I click, you can see that this Titanic data set is loaded. Okay. So in this way, you can use the inbuilt data set that is available in Orange. This is the second way to load the data set. If you don't have the CSV file and you want to use the inbuilt data set, you can use. Okay. Okay. Now I want to show you that how to handle the missing values, because if in data set means there is a one missing value, then you cannot do any further analysis. Okay, so I just take a one data set, for example. Okay, you can see this data set. I take a heart disease data set. So in the data set, I choose this heart disease data set. Okay. Now, if I double click on the data table, you can see there are 303 instances. Okay, you can see there are 303 instances, 13 features, and 0.2% missing value. Understand? Now, we have to check then which column has the missing value. Because in data set, there are 13 columns and 303 rows. I don't know which column has the missing value. Okay, to check this, we have to use this feature statics. Now, I connect this data table with feature statics. Okay. Now, if I double click, you can see this column, major vessels color, has 4 missing values. Understand? Okay. So we can easily identify that which column has the missing value. Now you can also check that any other column has the missing value. Yes, there is a one column that is THAL, and this is also has the 2 missing values, that is a 1% missing value. Okay, so there is a missing value. So we have to first handle these missing values before doing anything else or to apply any model. Okay. Hello, my screen is visible or not?
It's not visible right now, ma'am. Not visible.
1 minute. I think there is a connection loss in my screen, shared screen. 1 second, sir. One minute, I am joining again.
Yes, madam, please. Your desktop got disconnected, that's why.
There is a internet problem in system Wi-Fi. 1 minute.
Yes, yes, yes. Are you trying to connect, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to connect. Hello.
Yes, madam. Now can you try to share?
1 minute, sir.
Please disconnect. Yes, fine.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yes, madam, visible.
Okay. So I am telling about means if there are some missing values in the data set, then how to ignore the missing values, or how to just replace the missing values. Okay. So just there is a one widget that is called impute. Okay. So I am just using the impute widget to handle the missing value. Okay. My screen is visible.
Yes, visible, madam, visible.
One second, this orange is not responding. So there is a one widget that is called impute. You have to just right click and then you have to connect this impute with the data table. You can see that there is a option that to change the data set, means either you can ignore the missing values, or there is options to replace the missing values by mean, mode, and median. Okay. So if the column has the numerical value, then it is possible to replace the missing values by mean, mode, and median. But if the column doesn't have the any category, means numerical values, then it is difficult. We cannot replace the missing values by mean, mode, or median. So we have to check first that what type of data in the columns that have the missing values, and with the help of that we can understand and we can decide that we can use which option, means either ignoring the missing value or to just replace the missing value. Okay, so we have to check that. Okay, now if I connect this data table with impute, okay, now I double click on this impute. Okay, now you can see that don't impute if you don't want to use any type of missing data handling. If you want to replace this missing values by average or the most frequent values, you can use this. If you want to use a distinct value to impute the missing values, you can use a distinct value. If you want to use any fixed values, so you can put that fixed values here to impute the missing values. If you want to use a random value, you can use a random value. If you want to use any models that suggest you to which values is used to handle the missing value, you can use this option. So there are lots of the options, and if means the model or the data set that we are using is okay with that values, then the missing values are handled. So for example, if I use this average or the most frequent model, okay, now I have to check that these missing values are imputed or not imputed. Okay, so I just use one data table to connect this impute value, and now I use this feature statics to check that how much percent our data has a missing value. Now, if I double click on the data set, you can see that every column has 0% missing value. You can check. It shows that with the help of this impute method, we are able to impute or we are able to replace the missing values. Now my data don't have any missing value, so we can move further for any type of analysis. Okay, you can see in this data set. Now, if you want to see also the data table, you can see in the data table, first it shows that there is a missing value. Now you can see there are 303 instances with no missing value. Understand, everyone? Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to use any modeling, okay, so for example, if you want to use for example, classification, okay, so means supervised learning. Okay, so for example, if you want to apply a decision tree, okay, then how to use the decision tree? So this is a tree for using the decision tree model. Okay, so in the decision tree, you know that in any machine learning algorithm, we cannot use the whole data to build a model. We are doing divide the data into two parts, that is a training data and testing data. So for that, we can use a data sampler. Okay, so now data sampler. So we have to first sample the data set. So this is my data set having no missing value. I have to just connect this data sampler so that My data is divided into training and testing part. Now, the fixed proportion is a 70-30. So I want to use this. So I use only 213 data rows to build a model. Okay. Now, I have to connect this with the tree. Okay. Now, in the decision tree algorithm, if anyone knows about decision tree algorithm, then you can understand that in decision tree, the result is in the form of the graphical representation. That is, we have to visualize the tree, means how the tree look like, and for that you required also a one dependent column. Okay, so for that you required a data sampler, means select column also. So I use this select column. Okay, I just drop this connection. I first make a connection to the select column. Okay, in select column you can see it shows that there is a one column diameter narrowing as a target column. It is compulsory that if you are using any supervised learning algorithm, then at least one column is a target column. If there is no target column, then you cannot able to perform any supervised learning algorithm. Okay, so for that I am using this diameter narrowing as a dependent column. If you want to remove any column, then you can also remove. For example, if you want to remove this, you can remove. Okay. Now I can connect this with tree. Now there is an option of the visualize tree. Okay. Tree viewer. Okay. Now you have to connect this tree with the tree viewer. It automatically builds the model and draw a tree. Now if I click, you can see this tree is built. Okay. Understand? If you want to restrict the tree depth, you can select from here. Okay. If I restrict to the only 3 levels, it shows only 3 levels. If I restrict to, for example, 5 levels, it gives you a 5 level. Understand? Okay. But to apply any model, you must know about the whole process to build the model. Okay. And in every step, you have to make a decision that which widget is helpful to you and what are the options you can choose. For using this tree viewer, you please just right click and type tree viewer. You get this tree viewer. Understand? In the similar way, you can use any classification algorithm. Understand? Now, if you want to evaluate, okay, for that you have to use this test and this score. Okay, this test and score is used to find the evaluation parameters like accuracy, precision, and recall value. Okay. The head node is a evaluate. Okay, in the evaluate, there is a one widget, test and score. And you can see this, you get AUC value, F1 score, precision, recall, everything. Understand? So with the help of this, you can build a model, evaluate a model, as well as visualize a model. And same types of things you can also do for the unsupervised learning algorithm. But for the unsupervised learning algorithm, you know that the target column is not predefined. In that case, you can if you don't use this select column, then your model is going to build. But for the unsupervised supervised learning algorithm, it is compulsory that there is a one target column available, and for that it is compulsory that you have to use this select column widget to select the column that which is the target column. Okay, understand? This evaluate is available here under this model. You are able to find out. This is evaluate. Okay. In this evaluate, there is a test and score, there is a confusion matrix, there is a ROC curve, means all the things that is required to evaluate the model, means how much percent accuracy of the model is. You can use this evaluate tab. Understand? So this is a graphical representation. You don't require any coding knowledge, but you require to understand that what are the steps and how to take the data set, what are the different things that you can do for the pre-processing, how the different widgets are connected with each other so that the workflow is completed. So you have to understand all this, and you can easily do all type of the data modeling with the help of this Orange. Okay. So if you have any doubt, then now you can ask, please. In the unsupervised, this same thing is going to happen, but only I already told you that this select column is not required, because for the unsupervised learning, the targeted column is not predefined. So you can use the whole data to build a model. For example, in this, after sampling, we have to use this select column. But for the unsupervised learning, we don't have to use this select column. For example, if you want to use the unsupervised learning algorithm, for example, is a DBSCAN algorithm or the KNN algorithm, then you have to directly connect this data sampler to the KNN. No, sir, means this is not possible to make a dashboard here. For every project, you have to make a workflow only. This dashboard makes it not possible with the Orange. Okay, this is just used to do all type of the data modeling for the persons who don't have the knowledge to hard code the thing. Okay, so for example, if you want to save this file and you want to get the a Python file of this particular project, you can also able to get, because in every widget there is a one Python script is running. Actually, is in KNN, you have to draw a chart that is a distance map. You have to first calculate the distance, and after that you have to apply this KNN. And if sir allows me, then I share you the whole workflow so that you can understand how to do for the do this for the unsupervised learning algorithm. Okay. Yes, we can also use this for the qualitative data set. And if you have qualitative data set and you have to convert that data into some form, means in a nominal form or the ordinal form, that is also possible. So both for the qualitative and the quantitative data set, we can use Orange. Okay. Any more questions? Any feedback? And if time permits, then in the future we conduct some detailed workshops so that we take one case study and then solve the whole problem so that you can use this software for the research also.
Yes, madam. Definitely, we can arrange a 3-day or 4-day workshop with a detailed about this Orange software.
Yes, yes, sure, sir.
In 1 month, we can arrange a session.
Yes, and actually, there are not any material available for means how to use R. That is not means notes are available, but there are some YouTube channels available that work for the means that shows that how to use this R Studio. Okay, means this Orange software step by step. Okay, there is also means very good Orange tutorials available in the YouTube. You can also follow this. Okay.
So thank you everyone. So thank you for joining the session, and thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session you delivered for the participants.
Yes, thank you, sir, and hope we arrange some more sessions so
Yes,
that
definitely, madam.
we can conduct some research case studies
With some case studies, we can do some programs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once again, a big thanks to all the participants. And so I know that some of you are already paid for the certificate and recordings. Those who paid will get certificate by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You will get recordings by today itself. And once again, on behalf of the A2Z EduLearning family, I would like to say a big thanks to all the participants and especially the resource person, Dr. Shanti ma'am, for sharing her wonderful knowledge and It was a great experience. It was actually a full hands-on session. And once again, a big thanks to all the participants. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, participant, for actually participants requires more participation, and I found that in this workshop, mostly people are participating, so that I am getting more engaged with the participants. So thank you for participating, and we are surely make sure that we arrange some workshops in future, so that we can get detailed, we explore the detailed Orange software. And thank you, sir, for providing me the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, and good night. See you in another program. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.